Raise your hands, ladies and gentlemen, if you've heard this before. Listen, son or daughter, it's time for you to settle down. Look at your friends. They've all got married. They all have children. Look at them. God bless them. The same thing happened to me just the other day. My mother comes up to me and she says, look at DTM Jahangir Khan. He's become a DTM and you're still a Toastmaster. God bless him. Look at DTM Kurum Salman. He has great hair. He's married. God bless him. And look at you. Look at you, son. God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, guests, Toastmasters and distinguished Toastmasters, you don't need any blast from the past to recognize that in life, a lot of people will say, settle down. It's not that I'm angry, really. It's not that I'm angry. It's not that I want to make a big ruckus about it. No. It's not even that I'm upset. But look in the dictionary, people. Half the people that use the word don't even know what settle down means. Settle down means to quiet down, not to get married, not to buy a house, not to have kids and pay for their education and, eventually be free in life. No. Settling down has nothing to do with it. Just yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I was coming back from a client meeting with some of my colleagues. Really tough client meeting. We were going back and forth. And finally, we were in the car. We were discussing multiple financial issues in the general economic environment right now in the world. And even despite what's happening in the world right now, they came up with this discussion. Man, I really like being married, my wife cooks my favorite meals. My daughter goes to British school. Beautiful, man. And my other colleague says, yeah, I agree with you 100%. My son goes to St. Christopher School. Beautiful education. My wife cooks some beautiful samosas in the evening every time I go home. And finally, after giving in their compliments to each other's families, then the truth strikes. Man, I really don't have time to study anymore. I don't have time for myself. When I go home, I don't have time to sleep. My daughter keeps crying in the evening. Yeah, I agree with you. My wife tells me, why don't you clean the car? If the car is so dirty, you can't even clean the car. I don't know what to do. And in their happiness, they turn to me and they say, hey, Colin, aren't you going to settle down? I said, hold on. I'm sitting back in your car. It doesn't look like I'm standing there. What do you mean, settle down? No. When are you going to settle down? I said, guys, we just came from a tough client meeting, and this is what you want to discuss? Of course. Because one thing you'll realize, Colin, marriage can never be an asset. It's only a liability. It's a joke. Apparently, married people will identify with. You guys will know. And then began a back and forth. It was like when you go to a club and you really don't know what the dance moves are. They were saying, hey, it's time for you to settle down. Now I was like, no, it's time for me to settle up. Settle down, settle up. And it went back and forth until we reached the office. Nothing came to fruition. We were still in our own discussions. And I stand to my side of the story because let's face it, guys. You're all Toastmasters here today, and some of you are guests who will eventually become Toastmasters. But just picture this. You go to a contest meeting. There are 4 contests, right? International, humorous, table topics, evaluation. And imagine you nail it on the humorous, but you really want to go for international. What if your club mentor, let's say DTM Kurum Salman, comes to you and says, look, you're not too good in international. Just settle down in humorous. You're a funny guy. Why you want to do table topics? Why you want to build your impromptu skills? You settle down here in humorous. An evaluation, I saw your evaluation. These are for better, these are for different people. You settle down in humorous. Would you settle down? Let's picture it again. Let's say if you visited a club, a Toastmasters club, let's say you visited the best club in Bahrain Elite Speakers Toastmasters. And let's say you didn't like the club. And people just said, oh, just settle down here. No, you came here. This is the club you first visited. It's time for you to settle down here. It's too late. You're already 28 years old. It's time for you to settle down here in Toastmasters. Would you listen? No. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that this is all fun and games, but there are some of you here where this may not be humorous, that your family, your friends, some peer pressure is on you which says, settle down. Settle down, whether it's in your love life, whether it's in your work life, whether it's in your dreams. And all I have to say is this: never settle down, only settle up. Can you imagine what would have happened to Elon Musk if he was my age and he said, his parents told him, Elon, it's time for you to settle down. The world doesn't need all this renewable energy kind of thing. Can you imagine what would have happened to the world? Can you imagine what would have happened to Lady Gaga if someone told her, hey, you don't really need to sing for the rest of your life. You can just settle down here, you're good at working in this, settle down here. Can you imagine we wouldn't have got some beautiful music in our lives? Can you imagine if the greatest men and women in history just decided to settle down? Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stress this enough. In life, in your work life, in your personal life, in your dreams, never, ever settle down. Always, always settle up. Over to you, Toastmaster Sob Saget.